It is multiple offer madness out there. And there is a way that you can avoid it. Do you know what it is? It's selling new construction communities. So today we're going to chat about how you can find these properties and how you add value to the process. So I used to sell new construction. That's how I actually got into the real estate business in 2004. And when real estate agents would come into my model home, they were absolutely useless. So today I want to make sure that you know how to add value to this process for your client. But first, how do you find these properties? So there's a few ways to find them. The first is New Homes Guide is a wonderful resource, and it's a website. You can also go directly onto the builders' websites and just find the communities that are active. And then the other is oftentimes they'll have representative properties in the MLS. So calling those communities and asking what properties they have available is a really good way to just see what's out there. Now, there's usually two types of properties that are available. There's what's called spec homes, and those are homes that are ready to roll or they're very soon going to be ready to roll. And those are typically the builder just building them on speculation, or it's of someone who backed out due to financing issues or what have you. The second type is obviously a to be built, and those would be options where your client can pick their finishes, but the timeline's going to be a little bit further out. So there's really three ways that I feel like you can add value to this process. And number one is negotiate incentives for them. Builders do not like to drop price. So price is oftentimes not going to be a negotiation point for your client. However, builders love to include options as well as closing cost credits. So those closing cost credits can oftentimes be used to buy down points. And then options, so maybe they can get some upgraded countertops or appliances or that Florida room bump out that they really want. So don't be scared to ask. Try to get the deal done, but you can absolutely ask for these types of items. And also it makes it look like you're really representing your client and trying to get them a great deal. Number two is request a copy of the builder's contract in advance. Now, sales managers are notorious for saying that they're not negotiable, you can't change the terms. Okay, fair. However, you do want to make sure that you have some type of protection for the three major contingencies that we usually deal with. So that would be inspection, appraisal, and financing. And just know how they're dealt with because you want to pass that information along to your client. The last thing you want is for something to come up like a low appraisal and your client doesn't have any recourse. So just be setting expectations very clearly and also making sure that you try your hardest to get your client protected under those three major contingencies. And lastly, number three is help them pick finishes that will maximize their resale value when they go to sell it, probably 5 to 10 years down the road. So this would be things like, and this is actually not even just finishes, but also options. So maybe square footage was always a big one. So that would be like the bump outs, having a walkout basement. So anything that really would maximize value. The one thing about new construction is that you're always going to have competition in the community typically. So making sure that you have options and upgrades that are going to set your unit apart, whether that's a wooded view or a walkout basement or just additional square footage or a unique part of the floor plan. That's super important because that's a differentiator when your client goes to sell down the road. So there you have it. Those are my tips from a former Pulte home salesperson. And I hope that it results in you getting more sales, but also showing your client that you can be of value when they go to a new construction community.